The strategic point for transmitting Buddhism into China was Dunhuang, where the northern and southern overland routes met. As early as the middle of the 4th century, cave temples were carved out of the hills to serve traveling monks and native believers. Eventually, this became a center of devotion for the next 1,000 years, and a depository of Buddhist art to this day. Through Dunhuang, two great events occurred at the turn of the century. In 399, Fa Xian, the first Chinese monk to complete his pilgrimage to India, started his journey. In 401, from Kucha, the high monk Kumarajiva traveled to the capital Chang'an to begin his monumental project of rendering into Chinese some of the most important Mahayana scriptures. The Chinese traveler survived untold hardships to reach sacred sites along the Ganges and study holy teachings at the source. Later, he sailed to Ceylon for a short stay. Then, after 200 days at sea, he returned home in 414. By that time, the north had been unified by a Turkic tribe whose emperors identified themselves with Buddhas. The founder of this Northern Wei dynasty encouraged the erection of images and temples and invited a monk to be imperial advisor. However, a Chinese Taoist and a Confucian minister convinced the third Northern Wei emperor that Buddhism was a fictitious foreign religion. Thus, the first of 3 great persecutions of Buddhism in Chinese history began. In 446, a drastic edict was issued to destroy all stupas, paintings, and sutras, and to execute all monks. Restoration came swiftly after the ruler died 8 years later. The succeeding emperor considered himself the reincarnation of Buddha and appointed Tan Yao the chief of monks in 460. As a symbol of the permanence of Buddhism, he created the cave temples of Yunkang. In the first group of caves appeared 5 gigantic Buddha figures representing the past emperors. The next group housed numerous images of Buddha, musicians, and donors, and bodhisattvas who refrained from entering nirvana in order to save other sentient beings. Admiration for Chinese culture motivated the 6th Northern Wei emperor to move his capital to Luoyang. Temple construction in the new capital mushroomed until 1/3 of the dwelling area in the city was occupied by monks. To rival the glory of Yunkang, cave temples were created at nearby Lungmen. In a cave sponsored by the imperial family, we can still see the magnificence of the processions of emperors and empresses paying respect to the Buddha. The strategic point for transmitting Buddhism into China was Dunhuang, where the northern and southern overland routes met. As early as the middle of the 4th century, cave temples were carved out of the hills to serve traveling monks and native believers. Eventually, this became a center of devotion for the next 1,000 years, and a depository of Buddhist art to this day.